Welcome back to War Hero to Superhero Mobile outside of Hill Air Force Base, going over and in the superhero battle room. We don't have the digital background, but we do have the content and the people. Our superhero battle room interview today is with Andrew. He is a veteran who served his country, and now he empowers our community with beautiful flags. It's your job to, as he goes over and speaks, to guess on which branch he came from. So we're going to go bring him to the stage, and then we're going to get this party started. All right, Andrew, do I have you?
Yes, you do.
Awesome. Mobile technology works sometimes. Amazing. All right. So we first go into how and what inspired you to join the military.
It's chopping up. I lost him.
You don't have me?
You there? I'm
Yes.
having trouble. You're coming in all chopped up.
Interesting. All right. I can hear you just fine. You don't hear me?
Let me make sure I'm on my Wi-Fi.
I was going to say you could toggle on my.
He's freezing up. I'm on the Wi-Fi.
All right. As we go over and wait for Andrew to go over and get his Wi-Fi fixed, we'll go over and double check ours while we're at it super quick. So we might go a little mobile. Boop. And we're going to check super quick if we're on the Wi-Fi. We are. So back in.
Yeah.
And we're going to see if he's back.
It was fine until we got started. And it started being choppy.
All right. Andrew, do I have you again?
Yes, you do.
All right. We're going to try this again. So we would love to hear what inspired you to join the military.
I was in college and got done with college, and was always a fan of the Coast Guard. And I was actually traveling from one city to another to go take another job, and ran into some guys in the Coast Guard, and it really inspired me to join. So I went and saw the recruiter and went through the process, and then joined the Coast Guard.
So out of all the branches of the Coast Guard, any specific reason why did you go enjoy more of the ocean? Did you not want to go fly like the Air Force, not want to get shot like the Army,
Well, ironically, when I was a kid, I actually wanted to fly in the Air Force. But when I went to go get my license for driving, the doctor informed me that I had a little bit of a color deficiency. So the words out of his mouth when I was at my examination were, he said, well, if you wanted to be a pilot, you're not going to be able to do that. And it was a little bit devastating for me at the time. So I went the college route instead, but I always wanted to be in the military, and I was always into law enforcement, and I wanted to be a part of law enforcement. So the next best step for me was to join the Coast Guard and then go and do law enforcement down in, the hot areas, Caribbean, Miami, somewhere where I could get involved in some drug interdiction, which I wound up doing.
Awesome. So sometimes dreams go over and crush and other dreams go over and open. So how long were you in the Coast Guard and when did you get out?
I was in the Coast Guard from 1991 to 1995. And I was stationed in New York for a little bit. Did my basic in Cape May, New Jersey. Then I went to New York waiting my A school. Then I went down to Virginia to my A school and became a machinery technician. And then I was sent off with orders to Puerto Rico. And I was in Puerto Rico for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then they sent me back to Virginia to go to boarding officer school to fulfill my law enforcement and training there. So then went back to Puerto Rico and was there for almost 2.5 years.
Man, I think that'd be really difficult to go over and leave after being in Puerto Rico for 2.5 years and probably getting to enjoying the benefits of the military and also the benefits of that beautiful country. Was it difficult to go over and to take the enlistment paperwork and say, hey, I'm not going to re-enlist?
It was, I went down there, did that. It was a 2-year tour down there. And then the greatest thing about the government and the military is that they considered that undesirable duty. So they gave me the ability to go to wherever I wanted to. And at the time, I was going to go to a small boat station up in Massachusetts where they were doing a lot of fisheries and stuff. And I went and did that. And it just wasn't for me after that. I just decided to get out and go get into something else. So that's what I did.
Mm. So 1995, the economy was good. It was President Clinton at the time and everything else. It was probably one of the most booming, prosperous times. How was your transition, though, in 1995?
Well, it's not like it is today where there's a lot of help for veterans getting out of the military. Essentially, I went on terminal leave because I had a bunch of time built up while I was in. And I came home, visited some family, and then packed up and traveled across the country because I was born and raised in New York and lived there for majority of my life, and then moved to Pennsylvania, went to college in Pennsylvania. And my dad actually was in Hawaii and then moved to Las Vegas. So I was in the process of getting out, and he said, work is really booming in Las Vegas. Why don't you come out here and see if you can make a career of it? And so I did. So I went on terminal leave and then traveled to Vegas, which, at the time they didn't have any transitional classes, or you got out, you did your time, and you went on with life. There was no, and I went to work with my dad for a number of years and then went out and started my own business.
Man, that sounded not as bad as I thought it would be in that particular car when you said it wasn't in the 90s and everything else. And before we can go over and get more into that, we're going to go for a quick sponsor break.
We all struggle in life. No matter the barriers, we do not need to stay there. Each day is an opportunity to step into better health. Each day is an opportunity to step into wealth. Each day is an opportunity to step into dreams. Live Good, the Global Wholesale Buyers Club, empowers all these steps and more. Ready to be empowered? Grab the link to learn more. You have served. No matter if it was in the military or civilian service, you deserve to live good. Live good in health. Live good in wealth. Live good in so much more. At Live Good, the Global Wholesale Buyer Club, we empower you to take your mission to the next level. Are you ready to live good?
Welcome back to our War Hero to Superhero episode, which is mobile at Hill. And we're visiting with our military influencer conference, superheroes. And Andrew was just talking about after 4 years going over and serving and going to go with his dad to go and work, we were about to get into what he pivoted to. So we're going to bring him back on the stage. Hey, Andrew, do I have you?
Yes, you do.
All right. The mobile's still working. Let's keep going. So we were last talking about your 4 years. You got out, you started working with your dad, and then you're about to make a pivot into a business. And it looks like we're seeing some of that business behind us. So what made you pivot?
You can only work with family for such an extended period of time. And, I felt like it was a better opportunity to go do something else and transition away from working with family and get out on my own and go do something else. So that's what I did. I actually started an inspection company a few years back, and I've been doing that for a number of years. And this new adventure that we're going to talk about, we started about 5 years ago, which has been quite interesting and very fulfilling, actually.
So before we jump into that, because it is a beautiful thing to go over and see, and I can't wait to have the money to order one for myself. I just got to get the right thing I want to order because the flags were beautiful. Seen them 2 years in a row. It just got to get the cash flow.
Yeah.
I know that business can be hard because it's a lot of manual labor and work and just going over and getting out of the military. When you run into these tough times, it could have been at MIC, it could be in the winter, maybe when sales are low in the spring. I'm trying to guess on when your sales are low because I know mine. But what's secret fuel when the pressure and the tough times come? What do you go over and do?
I think a big key to everything in any business that you do, depending on if it's a product or a service, it's your ability to market the business and market the product is the key aspect to it. If we still have struggles right now with figuring out the best way to market our product with the flags and how to capitalize on that. But the key aspect of it is marketing. Marketing is really the key component to the super fuel on that.
So pretty much, if I'm summarizing that, when your tough times come, you just go ratchet into marketing even more, so those tough times go away. So
Yeah.
you want to share an example of that actually was successful on that particular guard?
Well, like you saw us again, we're at MIC, the Military Influencer Conference. Our key thing is, to get out in front of people. Our product is obviously 3-dimensional. And when you're on a 2-dimensional platform, you don't really get to see the product in hand and to really experience what the product's all about. One of the biggest feedback things we get from customers and previous purchases is that, the pictures that they've seen of them and our flags just do not do them justice. So, we get out and get into the community and do marketing events, do shows, do, whatever we can to get the flags out in front of people so they can see them.
Yeah. It is amazing in 2024 that we still need to have that touch to things. It's amazing, especially if it's a physical product, even if it's a book. Like when I was out there and asking people to come on the podcast and then showing the book, once they saw the book, it made a drastic difference. So it is very interesting that even though we've advanced so far and be able to do these interviews live, you're going to get on the road and head to Utah soon. And then I'm heading back to Dover and everything else. We were able to sync together, but that physical product, no matter even if you had a video call with me, it probably wouldn't have sold me as much as seeing the product in person. So we're going to go into our last question before we talk more about the flags and everything else, is our 3 superhero tactics. So thinking about either yourself or thinking about maybe someone that you're coaching into this particular brand, what would you give them as 3 quick tactics? And let's say you're only on an elevator or just a quick interaction. What 3 tactics could you give them so they can go from a surviving mode to a thriving mode?
I would say number 1 would be your purpose. Why you're doing what you're doing. Explain a little bit about the history behind it. People ask us all the time about our story, why we're doing it, how we came up with it, and what makes it successful. Excuse me. What makes the product successful, and a lot of trial and error. We're in version L right now on the product, where we've had some ups and downs, trials and errors, but persistence. Persistence for sure. Knowing your goals. I would definitely say those definitely be the top 3 items.
Those are fast and those are quick, man. I had time on the elevator to ask you more questions. That's
I
really
could
cool.
extend out a little more, but elevators, you could be going to the 3rd or 4th floor. You could be going all the way up to the 30th. It just depends.
Yeah, those elevators back at the Military Influencer Conference were amazingly fast. So you had very little time to even going up 30, 40 floors, which hopefully our listeners go over. And if you want to go see Andrew live or myself next year, September 21st to the 24th, that's the next MIC in Atlanta. You want to go, it's the Cigna Hotel. Get your tickets as soon as you can. They're probably going to launch in January. So Andrew, I want to thank you for coming on this show. I'm going to give you the floor one more time to tell us more about your biz and close us out with an awesome quote, or maybe if you got some more flags and they just come out of the picture anywhere, whatever way you want to close it, but the floor is yours. And I want to thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And like I said earlier, it's great seeing you again for a second time and looking forward to seeing you next year. We built our company with the American flag, and you can see it in the back there a little bit. The premise behind our artwork is obviously honoring our American flag, our gold rip tassel in the middle, and then somebody's second love on the other side. You can have your own piece of artwork that you can hang on your wall. We've been doing this since 2019 in honor of our flag. Me and my partner, Scotty, who are both veterans. We've built this company from his garage to now we have, close to 15 employees, and we ship flags from the West Coast to the East Coast. We're in all the Buc-ee's in America. We're in all the Shields in America, and, soon to other locations around the country. But we love what we do. We love our product, and we love everything about it, what it represents. And it's just a great symbol of patriotism for all of the veterans out there in America and abroad. So thank you for having me on.